What's going on, everybody? Track announcer Chris Griffin here in the Parx Racing Studio. It's out of the gate as we get set to kick off another week of live racing here at Parx. We got 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, and then we're back here on Saturday. We'll talk about that plenty with another Saturday afternoon coming your way. It's a cool shirt Monday. I got my announcer shirt on just in case you forget what job I do here at Parx. But we got to take a look back, as always, at some of our racing action last week. We saw some big winners. We saw some big performances. So let's take a look at the Parx Playback.
Parx Playback time, here we go. Monday action, La La Lucy, I'm home. At 50-1, huge price for trainer Feral Man. And the veteran Edwin Rivera with a well-timed ride. She wears the pants, striding away with ease. Emerging apprentice Jose Gomez, aboard for Butch Reed in a dominant victory. Angel Castillo was flexing through the stretch. Indoctrinate was a no-doubt winner on the front end, taking them gate to wire. Tuesday time, what a moment for jockey Fabian Jones. First win here at Parx and did it aboard Otis. Carl C. Jones is on a roll, and congrats to Fabian. Many more wins ahead. She's a half-sister to the champion Vequist, and she ran like it. Held off a late challenge from Bet of the Century, but maybe a bright future ahead for trainer Butch Reed and Vadero. On Wednesday, it was Put the Blame on Me, well prepared for the debut, and Jose Ortiz took the ride to an easy win. The PA bred may have the looks of a promising runner moving forward. And there's that man again, Frankie Pennington does it again, this time on Bumper Do. The Jamie Ness trainee got the perfect setup and cruised to a win. Have a great week.
Taking a look at the weekly wrap-up, as always, you can check it out on Instagram, our Instagram, Parx_Racing. You see a lot of the top performers there. Frankie Pennington is all over that page, it seems like, as well, picking up wins in bunches last week. Jamie Ness picking up some training doubles, training triples as well. And then again, take a look at the post positions. It's important to take a look at where the horses are breaking from as far as out of the starting gate, if that can help you with your handicapping. It's been a very fair racetrack, though, as we take a look at some of our racing coming up. 10 races on this Monday afternoon card. Let's take a look at the winners. I don't have my paper notes here, so I'm going to be looking at my phone, not texting or TikToking or tweeting or all those great things, but taking a look at the winning selections. Number 1 is going to be the Great Gazoo, and this horse, it's not going to show it in the notes, but this horse actually scratched in the paddock last time out. We had some loose horses on the racetrack, and this horse was a scratch, so didn't get to run what they were going to run on the turf. Now it comes back to 6 furlongs and a maiden $40,000 spot. Trainer John T. Kirby first off the claim. Paco Lopez is named to ride here on the Great Gazoo. So I think that this horse breaking from the rail gets good position, and I think is your winner there in the opener. Race number 2, pretty competitive race in here when you take a look at this 6 furlong race at the $25,000 winners of 3 lifetime. High Velocity ends up being my top choice. I'll have a video and talk about this horse when we get into our paddock previews on the live show, but Frankie Pennington, Scott Lake, I'm not quite sure what to make from the performance last time out. 2 starts back, this horse had a good second. This horse wants to be forwardly placed. Also seems like he wants to be alone on the lead. Is he going to be alone on the lead this afternoon? Not a lot of speed to either side. I'm Blaming You comes from off the pace. Dalton is coming off of a layoff. And then when you take a look at the 6, Him, She Kisses, and Speak Unity, they're closers as well. So could be a lone lead on the front end here for the 2 High Velocity. We'll see how Dalton was the one coming off the layoff I felt like could spring up for an upset there in race number 2. Race number 3, when we take a look at this one, and we got some first-time starters in here. The number 5, Scintillating Star, Sylvester Gonzalez, Guadalupe Preciado. They claim the horse out of the Churchill Downs effort. Then you see that bullet work right here at Parx on June 15th. So that means that this horse is ready to go, has shown some speed. Sylvester will be aboard for a barn that just does very well in these spots. I think Scintillating Star, she seems like a standout. There are some first-time starters that hold some intrigue. Butch Reed's got a first-time starter in here. Freddie Velasquez has the Ferminator. I think that's a pretty interesting first-time starter with Barbosa, the apprentice, aboard. So when you take a look at that 3rd race, it runs a little bit deeper than just the 5, Scintillating Star, I think. I think that price is going to come down too. 7 to 2 in the morning line. I think that price comes down just a notch there in that 3rd race. Hey, make sure you check us out on YouTube. We got the YouTube channel. We're just picking up subscribers left and right. Hit that subscribe. Tell your friends and family. Check us out on YouTube. I told you guys that we're racing here Monday and Tuesday with live racing today and tomorrow. Back on Saturday, a Saturday afternoon of live racing right here at Parx. No racing on Wednesday. Join us on Saturday. Gates are going to open at 11 a.m. First post time is 12:55. Have a picnic in the picnic grove, of course, right? While you enjoy family fun and the live racing. We got pony rides, the moon bounce, face painting, barbecue stand. DJ Tonka is back for more, horseshoe decorating. All kinds of fun for the family. Should be a nice day here on Saturday, so looking forward to having you join us again. First post time will be 12:55. Gates open at 11 this Saturday. Taking a look at race number 4, 6 furlong, $7,500 open, claiming when you take a look at the 5 in here as the top choice, Mr. Tuttle. 5-1, I hope so. I actually think maybe they figured something out a little bit here from Mr. Tuttle. This has always been a horse that's been on the front end. If you go back and watch the replay there from the June 1st performance, we aren't showing it, but when you go back and take a look at that June 1st race, race number 8, Mr. Tuttle got completely stopped in the stretch. This horse comes absolutely flying at the end for second. He might have learned something from that race, showing a different gear, showing a different type of ability. That's the 5, Mr. Tuttle. He's the top pick. Josue Arce continuing to pick up wins. 75 starters, 7 winners. That barn continues to get it rolling here at Parx. When you take a look at race number 5 in here and number 4 for me and Titanic Rose, I didn't know where else to go in here. I mean, this is a wide open race to me. I think you could really spread in this type of wager when you take a look at your multi-legs. It just seems like Titanic Rose maybe ran the best last race, ran against probably the top horse in Golden Tabby, who was a runaway winner that afternoon. But you take a look at some of the other runners in this race, they all seem to have a very similar running style in here, and that's going to be the number 4, Titanic Rose. Jeremy Laprida has been picking up some wins, especially there with Ernesto Padilla Preciado. That barn continues to pick things up as well. We'll see. I would spread. I would go pretty deep in that 5th race, but the number 4 is the top choice in that 5th race. Hey, we got a chance to catch up much earlier this year. Might have even been last year, right, when we got a chance to catch up with our leading rider, Ruben Silvera.
My name is Ruben Silvera. I ride horse. I am from Panama.
Jockey Ruben Silvera concluded a record-setting year at Parx in 2021. Silvera grew up in Panama, but his first stop would be tough for anyone to guess.
Well, I started in Panama 2003. So after that, I fly to Hong Kong. So in 2011, I ride Hong Kong, Macau, Singapore. After that, I fly to Panama back. I stay only 6 months.
After he rode overseas, Silvera came back to the United States and faced stiff competition on the East Coast.
I started in Calder. I ride a couple months, maybe 5 months, 6 months. So after that, I fly to New York. I try in the winter to see what happens because I like the competition. I wanna try big jockey. I try good experience.
To become leading rider, Silvera works hard and has learned lessons from various circuits.
The Hong Kong is the competition is tough. A lot good rider, more in the grass. It's different play because they ride the wrong way. For me, it's new. More in the grass. It's more experience. So you need to wait. You need to try follow the another jockey only one line. So you try everybody up. So it was new for me.
It all started in Panama, where he found his love for riding. And he looks up to some of the legends from Panama.
I learned in Panama.
Okay.
But in Panama is cool, but the jockeys learn with the groom. Okay. I learned with the groom. They help me a lot with gallop. When I was young, I was Laffy Pincay. He's a good rider. For me, he's #1 in Panama. Alexis Solis, he retired already. Cornelio Velasquez, he's a great jockey.
Panamanian riders are a fixture on many circuits in the United States, and Silvera tries to keep in touch when he can.
Right now, I saw every time we sign the greatest, Ricardo Santana, two good riders, and Jose Lescanos too. These guys always busy, but I try every time to communicate.
Ruben Silvera won 217 races in 2021 at Parx, but continues to stay humble through it all.
God is blessing this year, so every time. So I am really happy. My agency, we make good team. So the trainer too, you know, Ness help you a lot. So Scollett help too, and Pino and Lulinder and Roger, you know, it's good guys.
What race would be a dream for leading rider at Parx, Ruben Silvera?
Maybe in British Cup, or every time I try the best trainer and the owner, you know.
Taking a look at the Philly Big 5 carryover jackpot, over $100,000 now, $101,499.58. So a big carryover jackpot in the Philly Big 5. It's always the last 5 races of the day, a jackpot bet, single ticket winner to take down the entire jackpot. Nice sequences here today. I mean, you take a look at a couple turf races on the card. We got some nice racing here today. Then we're back here tomorrow for Tuesday afternoon of racing. And then remember, on Saturday, that first post time is 12:55. We had been moving those post times up, but we don't have those Triple Crown races, though. So Saturday racing, first post time at 12:55. And the gates open at our normal time at 11 a.m. But thanks again to Ruben Silvera, who is back aboard here, all his mounts, the leading rider in the standings. Again, he took a day off here last week after we took a look at some of those stakes races. But that was a while ago, right? Talk about a rerun as far as putting up that interview. Sheer Flattery has been retired and actually had some babies this season. So great job by the best TV crew in the business. Yeah, a little throwback on a Monday. Why not? We did a TikTok earlier. So let's get back into it. Take a look at race number 6 in here with the number, the 7,500 lifetime race at the 7 furlongs. 9-toe Johnny Miguel Rodriguez. This barn has really been going very well. When you take a look at Andrew Wolfson, 3-1 on the morning line, 3 third-place finishes. Again, this is another race. It's tough to start this sequence here when you take a look at the Philly Big 5 and when you're taking a look at just, you know, some of your top selections in here. 9-toe Johnny will be the top choice. I don't know if I would be all in on this horse when you take a look at this effort, but this is a horse that does make some sense in here. When you look at the rest of the field, a lot of them don't have that early speed. They've been knocking at this 7,500 non-3 level and just quite haven't gotten the job done. Perfect Revenge, I felt like, was really interesting. Lulinder Jr., Luis Acasio. He comes off with a layoff in here. When you take a look at this runner, this one having some time off might be able to run a big race. Take a look at this horse in the paddock and when they come onto the racetrack, as this does start that Philly Big 5, so you can adjust and change your tickets. But the 2 Perfect Revenge for the Over the Moon Silks, I do think at 5-1 offer some value. Keep an eye on the tote board there as we get into that 6th race. When you take a look at race number 7 in here, and we're going to get back on the turf course, a starter race, and Yee is going to be the top choice. Yee, yay, whatever you guys want to call the horse there. But Yee, based off of this last performance, I mean, the number 11, a little bit tougher post position, right? A little bit further outside, but this horse has got that early speed. Sylvester Gonzalez sees fit to get back aboard the horse, and let's take a look at that turf run that I'm talking about. And Carl C. Jones had this runner primed and ready. This was a massive performance. I mean, this horse is just striding away here. Maybe he just loves the turf. 6-1 on the morning line. Carl C. Jones, 2 wins now on the turf, a 2nd and a 3rd from 8 lifetime starts on the turf. Back on the turf this afternoon, a firm turf course with the, you know, warmer temperatures that we've seen. You know, you've got some real runners in here. Drillomatics going to be in this race, some late closing types as well. Yee is on a quick wheelback. VIP Code was the 7. That horse is really interesting to me for Jamie Ness. Hasn't won over the turf, but this horse is by City Zip. So you would think that being by City Zip, this horse can handle the move to the grass just fine. I don't have scratches and changes yet, but once we get those for you here, as we get closer to post time here for race number 1, we'll get those adjusted if there are any changes. But Yee, I think it's good position. We'll see where VIP Code does end up in the race, because that horse does have some early kick. If that horse is up with the early lead, could present a problem there for the 11, who is stepping up against better rivals in this spot. When you take a look at race number 8, and we get into the late pick 3 sequence, 6 furlongs being the distance in here, and the number 7, Divine Miracle. This horse is just ultra consistent, very game, and this horse wins photo finishes. That's the other thing. When you take a look at top connections, obviously the 5-year-old gelding by Distorted Humor, Jamie Ness, Frankie Pennington teaming up, a connection that's been just rolling here lately. Divine Miracle with an outside draw can really dictate things, can maybe just stalk off of it, could be on the lead. This is just as game as they come. I mean, you take a look at this horse and his record, 4 for 5 this year. Only a 2nd was beaten ahead in a tight photo. Prior to that, 4 starts in 2021, 2 of them wins, a 2nd and a 3rd. This horse hasn't been out of the trifecta in 2 years? I mean, that's pretty impressive. Now, limited starts. This horse has only started, what, 9 times, 2021, 2022, but now he's really got it rolling and his good year continues. So we'll see how this runner does. 10 lifetime starts, 6 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. Has only been out of the trifecta once in his career. Let's take a look at race number 9 as we get into the late double. Mile and 70 yards, an allowance race in here. This is a little bit tougher. I mean, this is a race where, yes, I Am Redeemed is in here. Yes, he's going to be the top choice. I'm not entirely sure what happened last time. I mean, he seemed like he was odds on. He was going to get the job done. Ended up losing to A Matter of Time. Rock on Luke. He was facing some really nice horses in there. He's very familiar with a lot of the rivals in this race. The Paige McKinney, we talked about that effort. Maybe he just had to work a little bit too hard in that race. I mean, if you go back and watch that race, he ran into a lot of trouble. He came flying late. He was weaving between rivals. We had an off track that day, or not an off track, but we did catch a little bit of wet weather going into that day, I should say. We'll see if he can bounce back. He needs to get back to that prior form that we did see. He's very game in the stretch. It was a little surprising to see him finish second last time. I thought he was just going to really run lights out, and he didn't. So I Am Redeemed as the top choice. But as I've said, some real competitors in here. You got Bird King. You got You Must Chill. You got a horse like Two Boss in here as well. Kendrick Carmouche is going to be in for the ride on the 7 for trainer Todd Pletcher. The Pennsylvania bred, he's obviously found his way to Parx because he can run against PA breds, and he can find some nice spots here. So when you take a look at Two Boss, ran last time at Belmont. Prior to that was running at Aqueduct. He's run okay in his last 3 starts. He gets back to Parx here this afternoon. He had a win, and he had a second, beaten 12 lengths in his 2 starts right here at Parx. So he's had 3 lifetime starts, a win and a second. We'll see how Two Boss performs in that 7th race. Race number 10, right? We're going to take a look at race number 10 in here, and that's going to be a mile and 7 to close things out on the turf. When we take a look at the number 7 in here, Passport. Passport's going to need a big setup. I mean, this horse is a deep, deep closer. He's going to come from way out of it. But usually this horse always brings his run on the turf course. When you take a look at the last few efforts for Passport, 7-year-old gelding on the turf here at Parx is 0 for 5. But this horse absolutely comes flying at the end. 16 lifetime starts on the turf, 1 win, 3 seconds, and 4 thirds. 1 to include in your trifecta. Be careful on too short of a price on the 7. You know, I don't want to go too low. 3 to 1 in the morning line. This horse is probably going to be vying for favoritism. We'll see. I thought the number 10, Just in Time for Wine, Patrick Reynolds, Luis Rodriguez comes in for the ride here. That one's got an opportunity as well. That's a wide open race to close things out. I thought the first and the last leg here, the Philly Big 5, are very tough spots here on this Monday afternoon. We can't end the show without taking a look at a huge performance last week. Of course, it's the performance of the week. Gunfyre Gal, I mean, how impressive was that performance? We'll keep an eye on that filly and see where she ends up next, because John Servis, Frankie Pennington, there goes that man again, right, with another huge performance right here at Parx. She's by Gunrunner, and he's been a fantastic sire early on, so we'll see what happens in there. We got a great day of racing coming up. It's Cool Shirt Monday. Hopefully you're wearing a cool shirt wherever you are. You can tweet me at In the Grandstand. You could tweet at Parx Racing. Let's take a look at all those social media accounts that you can follow right here at Parx on a Cool Shirt Monday. Make sure you've got that cool shirt. Make sure you tweet me. Let me know that you're having fun watching our 10 races here at Parx and enjoyed out of the gate as well. Hit that subscribe on YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook at Parx Racing. And then on Instagram, get on the IG, Parx_Racing. Make sure you follow us, send your comments, send your selections. It's a gorgeous day outside. Thanks for joining us here. We race here today, tomorrow, and Saturday right here at Parx. We're back next week with another episode of Out of the Gate.